What happened to Blade? Well, he was banned for exploiting 3 times and unbanned.
Amended just resubscribed for 3 months.
And he got
more time.
And he got unbanned 3 times. And then his reputation tanked into the ground after the last time he got banned. He got caught live on stream with 2 workers on 1 node, and the entire chat was like, this is a fucking joke. So they banned him, and then he said, no, it was a bug. I have 99 artisan workers, and I have 1 green worker, and it's level 30, but there's no way I could have known that it was 2 workers on 1 node. There's no way I could have known that. Even though Blade was the most anal retentive. I've never seen anyone more anal retentive than Blade Boquest about updating and upkeeping his worker empire, but the fucker had a green worker on Ancient Stone Chamber right next to another fucking artisan worker on Ancient Stone Chamber, and he never checked it. You've got the wrong fucking guy, bro. He knew what was going on. He demanded an apology over the ban. Yeah, it's because his entire career was based around... He lost everything. He was the top streamer in the whole category. He was like the #1. Like back then, he had like 700 average viewers back then, or 400 average viewers back then. Back then, that was a massive amount of viewers back then. He was the biggest streamer in the category for sure. Blade NZ. No, this is Blade Boquest. And like, once you get caught exploiting like that, it's over, man. It's over. The community disowns you. That's the end, right? And so like, he constantly tried to tell everyone, I didn't know, I demand an apology, it was an accident. I'm so sorry. I followed a lot of Blade's content. There's no fucking way. Respectfully, there's no fucking way he didn't know. Like, even I would have noticed that there was a fucking green worker on my Ancient Stone. That was the most important node in the entire game back then. There's no fucking way he would have not seen it. And it was a level 30 green worker, which meant it had been there for like a fucking shitload of time. Like, it took forever to hit level 30 back then. Like, there's just no fucking way. And that was the second time he got caught with 2 workers on 1 motherfucking node, bro. The first time he got banned for it, he said, no, I didn't get it. It was a wrongful ban. And they unbanned him. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. And then the second time they saw it live on stream. I was there. I was live when it happened. Blade looked like a used car salesman that got caught in a lie. It's funny. He did one of these. He opened his map. He was looking at something else, and then somebody goes, "Hey, chat was chat are sly little fucking rats." Okay, chat goes, "Hey Blade, I'm new to the game. I was wondering, is it possible to have more than 1 worker on a node? Because I keep trying to assign more than 1, but it won't work." And then Blade goes, "Oh no, that's not possible." And then he goes, "So why do you have 2 workers on Ancient Stone Chamber?" And he's like, "Actually, fucking rats. Actual fucking rats." So then, sure enough, he opens his map and he does one of these. Oh my god. Oh. And there's 2 workers right here. There are 2 workers on this node. Are you guys seeing this? What? Are you guys... Wow, that's a weird... Yeah, this is... Man, yeah, that's not supposed to happen. Yeah, we know, Blade. Anyway, that VOD got deleted, but he... like, he just... Bro, honestly, hold on. There's a good video on it. Hold on. Let me find it. There it is. Reaction time, boys. Now, this is Morrolan. You guys probably don't remember Morrolan, but he was the first bald, sexy fucking white man with a beard in our category.
When I started planning this video a few days ago, I was intending to open with something along the lines of, this is just a drama video with no useful information. If you don't care about video drama, you may want to move along. But this whole incident has now sort of...
We love video drama.
transcended what happened with Blade Bocaz and provided us instead with some troubling insight into Kakal's competence as a publisher.
This is back when Kakao ran the game, so it was Kakao that was banning people and not Perlibus. So just to be clear, this is not Perlibus's fault. All of this is Kakao's fault.
The first time that Kakao has demonstrated a lack of knowledge about the game, from strange answers on support tickets to clearly incorrect and unchecked patch notes. They certainly had their share of embarrassments already, but nothing quite on the level of what we've seen unfold over the last few days. So let's go over the last few days and talk about exactly what happened. The catalyst, for those of you who are missing the context here, is a post on the BDO subreddit.
There it is, you little fucking rats in MS Paint. Look at this motherfucker.
Titled Working as Intended by Devok1 early in the morning of...
Oh yeah, it's a skilled worker. So I just want to point out that this dude has literally... Let me pull out my pen. This guy is all level 30. Artisan workers. Level 30 artisan, 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 level 30 skilled. On the, this is the biggest node in the game. It's the most important node in the game. Ah! Flashbang.
July 11th. And in the post you can see...
Can't see Blade's face. Oh, this is before they exposed him. This is what the little rat did. This is him. He's just opening. He's just looking at his shit. He hadn't answered the question yet. He hadn't answered the question yet. That was right before the question came out.
How Blade apparently has 2 workers on Ancient Stone Chamber, something that is not possible through normal gameplay. There's only one node at the chamber, the excavation node, and you can see 2 workers working it here. So basically caught red-handed here using apparently a bug in the game. In addition to this screenshot, there's also a clip where he goes through his entire worker empire, and we see some things rats. In addition to the double workers that are
they
very
set him
strange.
up so hard.
Let's just go through this real quick. So there's a green worker there on Lynch Farm Ruins, another one on Costa Farm, and then this one here really stood out to me, a level 30 human worker on...
See, yeah, this is huge. So it's not just one node.
Southern Cianaga. So the idea that someone like Blade would have green workers at all is very strange, especially level 30 unpromoted ones.
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
But especially the idea of a green worker on Southern Cianaga. I remember seeing an artisan worker on Southern Cianaga way back in the day in another one of Blade's videos. And I went ahead and dug that up for you guys because I knew I remembered seeing this, and sure
he's got the receipts, boys. He's got the fucking receipts.
Enough, in one of his older videos where he talks about node income, you see an artisan goblin on Southern Cianaga.
Boom! There it is. There it is. Why would you take an artisan goblin off of Southern Cianaga and put a green worker on there?
So how did he go from having an artisan goblin on this node to having a level 30 unpromoted green worker? It's just such a strange series of events. And so I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, well, there's got to be another explanation here. There's no way Blade is this bad at managing his workers.
Fuck
but
no.
The only 2 explanations available are either he...
If you're me, it's because you're lazy. Well, no, see, that's a normal player. Totally fine. Understand that a normal player, yeah, it really could have just happened to a normal player where you end up with 2 workers on one node because of some in-game bug. That would have been totally believable. This is not a normal player. This is the top streamer, top sweat lord, Giga Chad, alpha fucking I'm sweating for silver person in the entire fucking BDO category.
Really is that bad at managing workers, or what if there's some additional reason why these workers can't be promoted? Now Blade...
Why was he banned though? It's just an exploit. Why would you ban people for cheating? They're just cheating.
Blade's explanation for this is that they were extra workers from the server merge last year, but come on, why would any decent player still have so many useless, easily replaced workers from 9 months ago, regardless of where they originally came from? We know for a fact that Blade was banned for this exploit once before back in May, but Kakao reversed the bans with this statement from PM Juiceca.
See? So he did get banned once before. I remember, guys, this happened like 6 or 7 years ago. This is really old.
After additional data sources were collected with the assistance of the developers, our team was able to refine initial data utilized in the analysis and investigation for potential participants in the node and worker exploit issue. As a result of this new information, we were able to identify that regrettably some false positives did make it into the initial ban wave. This issue has since been corrected and the affected parties have had access to our services restored. We sincerely apologize for any inconveniences this may have caused. And thank you for your patience while we review each case.
You guys have no idea how much better we have it now that we actually have a good CMGM team. This is what we used to deal with. Oh, sorry, our bad. It was a false that's yeah. Imagine just being banned for no reason, bro.
And the part they left out, as far as we can tell, is that apparently everybody who was caught in this ban wave had their service restored. I'm not aware of a single person who actually got in trouble back in May, but I do know many people, Blade included, who were unbanned. It seems like Akal realized there were some false positives and decided better for the guilty to go free than for the innocent to go punished. Regardless, it's...
Blade did not get permabanned. No, he was unbanned. However, the problem is he got unbanned after all this and he can still freely play the game. The problem is the community disowned him. You get caught cheating like that live, it's over. Your public reputation... When you're a streamer, you don't live in the court of... This is not like a court of law, okay? This is the court of public opinion. It doesn't matter what the fuck, like, necessarily happens. What matters is what people believe is happening. No one gives a fucking shit about, like, the court of law. And so, like, when the community disowns you, it's over. It, like, no one... He just never recovered from this. Plus, he kept bringing it up. The funny thing is, Blade probably would have been fine, but he just never let this go. Every time he's live, he always talks about it. Every single fucking time. He's always talking about it. He says, oh, it's bullshit, blah, 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 and how it ruined his career, all this stuff. If he had just let it fucking go and moved on, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. As it is, he always brings it up. In the most recent stream, he's streaming BDO. He streamed BDO like it was like 4 months ago now. He had a BDO stream, and one of you, Trepex, I think it was Trep goes into his fucking chat, and Trep goes, hey, Blade, glad you're back. Waiting for your next word and worker and node empire guide. Very excited for it. Dude just speed ran himself out of Blade's chat, bro. Actually just fucking speed ran it. I almost fell out of my chair, though.
Seemed very unlikely at best that Blade, someone who practically plays this game for a living, would not notice that he had 2 workers on the same node for over 1,000 work cycles, something like 3 to 4 months of continuous, uninterrupted workloads for these 2 workers, especially after being banned for this exploit once before. We're basically left with 2 explanations. A, even after being banned for exploiting nodes, he still didn't even bother to check his node empire after getting back into the game. Or B, he went through and cleaned up his entire worker empire, but just missed this one node in the process. Additionally, I got a very bizarre correspondence from Blade in response to calling him out on stream, in which he claimed that he...
To be clear, Blade, these were both partners back then. This is the equivalent... Morrolan and Blade, this would be the equivalent of like Biseptimus and So Frosty beefing with each other. He
now had learned how the bug worked and that it wasn't related to having unpromoted workers. Apparently, this bug occurred when you sent a worker to a node until they ran out of stamina, and then sent a different worker to the same node until it also ran out of stamina, and then both workers sitting at 0 stamina, next time you fed and refreshed, would simultaneously go back to work. This immediately raised 2 red flags. First of all, we just established that both of these workers had been on the node non-stop without running out of stamina for 3 to 4 months straight. So I'm supposed to believe that he had an artisan human run out of stamina on Ancient Stone Chamber, something that takes about 50 hours of neglect to occur, followed by having a skilled human also run out of stamina on Ancient Stone Chamber, something that would take another 50 hours of neglect to occur, only to immediately be followed by 4 months straight in which neither of these workers ever ran out of stamina again. It just wasn't even remotely good enough of an explanation, especially when he came right out and said that the reason he was offering me this explanation is so that I would know the bug wasn't related to having unpromoted workers, which is one of the most suspicious things that we had spotted on his account so far. So at this point, I became even more convinced that unpromoted workers were part of the bug, and that Blade was just trying to cover his tracks.
100%, yep.
By now, there had been a few good theories about how to set something like this up, and all of them involved a certain amount of setup that would be difficult to repeat, which explained why you would hold on to subpar workers rather than going through the trouble of promoting them and then setting up the glitch all over again. Besides, there was another exploit in which you could adjust the clock on your PC to speed up your workers. Yes, I'm serious, that really was a bug in the game. So perhaps by combining these two exploits, it didn't matter if the workers were from a lower tier. Anyways, July 12th, patch day comes and goes with the same continuing drama, and then on July 13th...
Crit K, thanks for the brand new T1 sub, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. You're a hero. We're looking at... This is really old beef, but we started talking about it, so I wanted to give context.
CM Yukamura makes a post on the forums saying that the patch which supposedly corrected this bug 2 months ago was not properly applied, including a failure to reset the workers involved. This again struck me as a possible explanation for using green and blue workers. If the bug was fixed, but the workers were not reset, maybe Blade didn't have a choice of which workers to use. If he stopped them to promote them, their repeat action would be changed, and they would no longer be grandfathered into a bug state, which was no longer possible. But at this point, we also started to see some...
So basically, after their first ban wave, in order to keep the bug going, you couldn't unassign the workers. So Blade would have had to have known, okay, I can't unassign the worker, it'll just keep going, and I can have 2 workers on 1 node.
Bizarre action on the part of Cacao. They decided to permanently ban only 3 people, while handing a slap on the wrist punishment of only 72 hours to the other 40 users involved, including Blade. This is quite a weak response to people who are purposely exploiting the game, and sends a clear message to the general player base that exploiting in BDO is okay as long as you don't get caught with extremely high value gains, whatever that means. It just doesn't make sense.
He's absolutely right. This is 7 years ago, so Perlibus has changed. Once Perlibus actually took over, it was okay.
Nobody talks about how his shady BS and horrible guild leadership, all his leadership got fed up and ran him out of his own guild.
Hey, I got run out of my own fucking guild, but I got fired from my job on top of it, so those people were just freaks. That being said, this is Cacao, guys. He's talking about Perlibus. This is the Cacao CMGM team.
This sort of exploit is akin to duping, and duping is one of the worst offenses in an MMORPG. Surely there's no gray area here. If they did it on purpose, they deserve a permanent ban. If they did it on accident, they should not be punished at all. There's just no room for a 72-hour punishment for this sort of offense. Anyone who plays the game should be able to tell the difference when looking at an account's logs, but we'll come back to that a little bit later. I sent out a tweet expressing my disappointment with the 72-hour bans, and got a response the next day on July 14th in the form of a direct message from the official NAEU BDO Twitter.
Yo, what the fuck? Yo, I tweet all the time. The Twitter account doesn't interact with me for shit. Although that's at BDO News. Ours is different. Bro, that's one thing I will say, that our fucking whoever controls the Black Desert, like Twitter and Instagram and shit, particularly the Twitter, doesn't... I feel like they don't fucking interact at all. They post shit. They don't really repost shit that the partners do. Like, I don't really see them doing a whole fucking lot, if I'm being alright. BDO News was Cacao, yeah.
Important part here is the second paragraph, where he says...
After careful investigation of all the accounts involved, our customer support concluded the players gained resources and items by using game mechanics in an unintended way. This could not have been performed accidentally, and I'd like to stress that their investigation was extremely thorough.
So, boom, there it is. Case closed, it's over, Blade's a cheater, they're all cheaters. Get your pitchforks, except you're actually not going to believe what happens next. July 15th, a new wave of emails are sent out to everyone who got banned. These emails contain the same copy-paste that I received in DMs the day before about how this could not possibly have been done on accident, with an additional line at the bottom tallying the exact amount of silver that was removed from the account. It's unclear how they came up with these numbers, but presumably they're just converting whatever materials were gained unfairly into the current market value, and then removing that.
These motherfuckers permanently banned somebody because they accidentally exploited 8.5 million servers. Silver, too.
That market value from the
8 mil was a lot back then, though. Not that much. I played back then. I could make 6 to 12 million an hour grinding back then. That's about an hour and a half of work. Yeah, it's about an hour and a half of work. But like, if what they did, I will say that this is really misleading. That was massive. No, it was effortless. Yeah, no, it's an hour and a half of work. I will say that what they did, actually, which I felt was disingenuous, was they added up how much silver they got because Ancient Stone Chamber gives you something called Trace of Earth. What? Yeah, there it is. Okay. Trace of the Earth. Oh, okay. So, what they did, Trace of Earth was worth a lot less back then. It was like 60k per Trace of Earth. Okay? But the thing about Trace of Earth was that it could be used in alchemy recipes to make you a shitload of silver. The reason that was the best node in the game is because the limiting reagent in those alchemy recipe was Trace of Earth. So trying to get a hold of Trace of Earth was the big bottleneck on being able to make silver. So Trace of Earth was not worth 69k or whatever the fuck you could sell it for. It was worth way, way more. So to be clear, 8.5 mil worth of Trace of Earth is actually way more fucking money to someone like Blade Boquest, right? Okay, that like, so just to be clear, like, this is disingenuous, but like
the account. The idea that someone would intentionally exploit the worker system and only get 8.5 million is very strange. Most veteran players make more than that from their node empire in a single day, yet after months of purposely cheating, this person only came away with 8.5 million? And then Drimlock hits me with this one on Twitter. 238k. This player was banned for 70.
All right, that's okay. That's all right. That's pennies. That guy got like 3 or 4 extra Trace of Earth. That's a joke. This guy got permanently banned for 238,000 fucking silver. That was, bro. Somebody went through this dude. This guy got audited by the IRS, and they just canned him, bro.
238k removed from their account. That's pennies. That's nothing. If I had an item in my inventory worth 238k, I probably wouldn't even bother to vendor it. I would just trash it. Banning someone for intentionally exploiting for 238k is like arresting someone for robbery because they picked up a quarter that fell out of someone's pocket. Does anyone who works for this publisher actually play the game? Some poor Steam player probably glitched out a second naive worker on the Olive Knoll in Olvio for 2 weeks, and Cacao is over here saying,
nope, this could not possibly have been an accident, and we'd like to stress that our investigation was super duper extremely thorough.
I don't even know what else to say about this. I've spent a fair amount of time complaining about publishers in the past, but at least there's some greed motivating their terrible decisions. There's nothing that can possibly explain this course of action besides complete incompetence on behalf of the entire team.
That you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
That took part in this investigation. His support email in this video, so here it is. As you can see, about 51 million was removed from his account. This seems a bit high even.
So Blade had 51 million silver removed from his account. That's 51 million in Trace of Earth that he had removed from his account. So he had this node running for a really long time, and that is billions. Billions.
for 1,000 cycles of ancient stone.
So the fact that they want to claim that this is only worth 50 million because that's how much it's worth on the market is a joke.
Chamber, but if they counted both of his workers on the chamber, then the value is close enough to fit as far as I can tell. So it seems unlikely at this point that Blade had
It's like 8% of the buffs I have on right now. Yeah, this is 7 years ago though.
2 workers on anything other than this one particular node. Now, whether he really did risk his account just for Ancient Stone Chamber, or whether this was an accident that he somehow managed to miss for 4 months, both explanations still sound ridiculous to me, but if Ancient Stone Chamber was something he left running on purpose, it doesn't really make sense for him to just be casually opening his worker window on stream. Remember, the previous theory here was that Blade cleaned up his other nodes off stream and just forgot about Ancient Stone Chamber, and that's how he was caught. But now we know that Ancient Stone Chamber was probably the only node that he exploited, so this explanation no longer really makes sense. I'm inclined to think that he is genuinely innocent.
There's Morrow, and there's my man himself. Poor Blade, the scandal will never leave him. That's because he always brings it up, bro. Alright, Morrolan, he streamed BDO about 3 months ago. You know what he did? The first fucking thing he did. He goes live, he's like, I'm the best, I'm amazing. I'm fucking awesome. Bro, he would have survived this. He would have been fine. He would have been just fine. Bro, just move the fuck on, bro. You just never bring it up. You just never bring it the fuck up, ever, for any reason. For any reason. Now, he went live like 3 months ago, immediately brought it up. And sure enough, here comes Trepex into the chat. Hey, Blade, really excited for your next Worker Empire guide. Can't wait. Dude got speed ran so fucking fast out of his chat. It was actually just unreal. Dude, like, the community will never let it go if you never let it go. It's just how it works. So many times, just laugh and move on. Exactly. He could have just owned it. He could have just been like, yeah, I had 2 workers on one node. I realized it, and then I just didn't change it because, like, you know, it's a lot of money, but that's my bad. Yeah, just own it. Just move the fuck on. Nobody would have cared.
Just very bad with his workers and extremely unlucky with how this all played out. I think the bigger takeaway here, and something that should really bother anyone
is that Cacao was the worst fucking publisher in the history of publishers
who cares about this game, is how bad of a job Cacao has done with handling this whole thing.
Amen.
We're now 100% certain that they banned innocent players while at the same time confidently asserting that there is no way that these people could have used the glitch on accident, which is even more messed up when you think about the fact that by their own admission, this is not the first time that they have banned innocent players. I'm not really sure where to go from here. Given the touchy latter half of the DM that I was sent earlier in the video, I imagine that any critical feedback posted on their forums will be deleted. I encourage you guys to tweet at BDO News asking for this issue to be revisited, and I encourage anyone who is falsely banned to demand that your ticket be elevated to someone higher up in the company. I know that the 72-hour bans will have expired by now, but I still think it's worth appealing in order to get the mark removed from your accounts and to hopefully call attention to someone higher up in the company that there are some major improvements that need to be made with the way these issues are handled. If there's anything I can do as someone with an audience to help you in these endeavors, please let me know. You guys know how much I love this game. I plan on continuing to play it for a long time.
That did not age well.
So seeing the game's mismanagement from a publisher who is either incompetent or apathetic isn't gonna fly. Don't let this one blow over. As a community, this is the time to come together and hold Cacao responsible until we see some honest improvement. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.